Hey guys, welcome back. So I received a lot of comments on my video yesterday that you guys want to see my day trading for SpreadCoin. So I'm gonna go over this. First thing, this is the chart for SpreadCoin. I kept some of the lines, and I kept the lines for my entries and my exits. So I'm just gonna explain these black horizontal lines here. It says entry 1 and exit 1. It means I entered here and I exit here, this trade. What it says, the percent, you see the percent sign. It means I didn't sell all my position. I sold only a percent. And yeah, so that's all the lines. You can see the prices here. The black numbers are the prices for each one of these lines. I put it in big so that you can see it properly. And then the red line is my final exit. I sold everything I had. I sold all my leftovers from previous trades. That was my last exit, and I'm not trading this coin anymore because, as you can see, it's now very clearly very clearly downtrending, and it's not doing any big movements up. So now I'm not entering again because now it's very clear this is downtrending and it's not showing any signs of bouncing. There's no volatility anymore, so it's not worth trading anymore. Now it's very clear we're gonna have a long downtrend here. Okay, so this is my Bittrex account. This is the page for SpreadCoin. You can see this is organized by date, so that's all my history for this coin. I never traded it before, so my first trade was here on the 10, and my last trade, it's been now recently today, so I basically traded it for 1 day. And you see all the prices where when I bought, limit buy or limit sell. So I'm gonna be going over this, showing the chart. So you can pause the video anytime and check the prices here on the lines, and then check them on my Bittrex account. You can see that's exactly the prices what I bought and what I sold. So let's start from the first trade. I started here. Somewhere here was not down here, so entry 1, we can see the line here, so I entered here when it was bouncing, and I exited where it says exit 1. I exited here. That was a 25% gain, and I will explain why I exited here, because the thing continued to go up. So I entered down here, and then when we were going up, this is the 15-minute candle, but I was switching between the 15 and the 5-minute candles because it was very fast movements, as I said. So in the 5-minute candle, we were getting a bullish triangle here. I'm not going to switch now between the 5 and the 15 minutes because it's going to mess the chart and I have to readjust, and then you don't see the numbers here, so I'll just leave it here and explain it. So we were getting this bullish triangle here, and what happened is, imagine in the this is 15-minute candle, but in the 5-minute candle we went up here. This green line was 3 of the other small candles, and it was banging against this resistance here and couldn't break it, and it was touching it and crashing, touching it and crashing. Another line here, another 3 5-minute candle going from bottom to top. It could not break it, and even another one. So imagine, it was a long time here. It was like 45 minutes trying to break this resistance up here, and not being able to. So I thought, look, I entered down here at my entry 1. So I was for a 25% gain, I think I said, entry 1. Up here, yeah, 25% gain, and I thought if the price cannot break this resistance, which is struggling already, it's looking more and more it won't break it. If it breaks on the downside, which is what happens usually when triangles cannot be broken in the upside, it doesn't matter if it's a bullish triangle, they will usually get a lot of rejection and go all the way down to reach the target on the way down. So I thought, if this doesn't break it and it goes down, it breaks down here, I'm gonna be all the way down there for a 0% profit. I'm already on a 25% profit here. I better take some profit here just in case it breaks down. So what I did, that's why I exited here, but I only took 1%. So I took some profit. I had some Bitcoin on the side that I gained already, but I still kept some spread coins. I didn't sell everything, because if it was going to break in the upside, I would continue to make more profits with the leftover coins that I still had. So in the end, it broke in the upside. And what I did also is enter another long position here as quick as I could, since it broke out and it showed some volume. I went to Bittrex and I set a buy order, but by the time I did that, we were all the way up here. But it doesn't matter, because I bought anyways, because I used the obvious target from the triangle, right? So when triangles break, they will usually go up all this length. So my target was up there. I thought it's worth buying and setting the sell order up on the target. So I bought here. I did it as quick as I could, but I got it for this price. And then right away I set my sell order to sell right on the target where the triangle finishes. So you can see that was a 8.40% gain. You can see here entry 2 and exit 2. So I bought everything I bought here in entry 2. I sold everything here on the exit 2, but I still kept my leftover coins from the trade number 1. So that was my first and my second trade. Then my third trade, that's interesting, because I bought here when it was bouncing. I think it was here, maybe even here, to be honest. I can't remember. Here or here, it doesn't really matter. I didn't take profit. It went down and it started crashing heavily, like parabolic going down. So when these things happen, when you have parabolic movements, whether it's up or down, you know by probability, but very, very high probability, the moment that it bounces, it's going to bounce big time. It's going to bounce to usually 50% of the parabolic movement. So for example, if it is crashed from here to here parabolic, then it usually, when it bounces, it goes up 50% of this way here, right? This vertical distance, when it finally bounced, it went like halfway up. So when you see parabolic movements, whether it's up or down, you know when they bounce, they're gonna bounce big time. So I entered here in my position in the entry 3, and I was losing, but it wasn't by probability. It was not worth selling on a loss when I knew it was very probable that when it bounced, when it touched bottom and bounced, it was going to take the price all the way up to at least the level where I entered. So I was not willing to sell for a loss when I knew I could have the price come back to at least sell for a break even. So that's the strategy when you see these things happening. Usually you will take your loss. If the price doesn't go in your direction, you take your loss. But there's times where you can use other techniques to not lose money or even make a lot of money out of these situations. So when I saw this situation, it was actually crashing from this top here, already parabolic, bounced to more or less 50% of the parabolic movement, as you can see, and it continued to crash here. So when it was crashing that badly, I thought, well, we just had a mini bubble here. As you can see, this parabolic movement up, or almost parabolic, from this bottom to the top. That was 85% gains in a matter of hours, of very few hours. Like, it's like a mini bubble, right? So bubbles, when they crash, they will usually correct 80%. That's the common. Sometimes more, even 100%, but or sometimes 60%. But the most common one is 80%. They correct 80%. So I thought, well, I'm gonna use the Fibonacci tool on this mini bubble, and I'm gonna try to catch the bottom here instead of selling for a loss. So I use the Fibonacci, and I went to the 80% correction level, or 78.6%. I thought it's very, very likely this is going to bounce big time when it reaches the 80% correction. So I went to Bittrex and I set a buy order if the price was to touch this line here, I would buy. And not only I would buy here, but I would buy double than I bought in my entry 3, because I was already on a loss here, right? When this was crashing from my entry 3, that was my entry 3. Imagine here I was losing 5%, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and even 12, 13. So I was losing, I was on a big loss. So I wanted to make out for this loss. I did not want to only wait for the bounce and break even. I wanted to make a huge profit out of this situation. So I set my automatic order here to buy double the money that I put in my entry 3. I put it in my entry 3.2, so that I average the cost. And I hope this is clear. So sure enough, it continued to crash here. It just barely touched the 80%, and it was like a flash crash, and boom, it went up. So it went up here, and I will tell you how I exited this. So the bottom, I caught the bottom almost perfect using the Fibonacci retracement tool. As I said before, bubbles will correct 80% usually, but if you notice, I have another line here that I kept at the 100% correction, because sometimes bubbles will actually correct down to 100. It was very, very likely, if this one didn't hold, we would go to the 100 and bounce huge from there. That was the other possibility. That's why I was ready to buy here, and I had actually an automatic buy order to go all the way down here. And this is the perfect example, guys, when I said if you want to day trade, you have to be calm and you have to use a logic, because if you it takes a lot of practice to do this. It takes that you have to do it a lot of times, and I guess you need to lose a lot of money a lot of times to understand that by probability, like, math is math, right? If you trust in the numbers and you don't listen to your emotions, you, instead of losing a lot, you can actually make a lot of profit out of these situations. But you need to stay calm and hold through your losses. If this thing would continue to crash, I bought up here at the entry 3. So if this would have continued to crash to the 100%, I would have been in a 30% loss, and or almost 31% loss. And guys, I was ready to go through that, because I knew by probability this was going to jump back and bring the price all the way back up to my original entry 3. So, but it takes practice, and it takes being very analytical and not emotional to hold your losses for that long, because that's what markets do to people. When they crash these parabolic movements, the first thing you want to do is just sell and get out of there. I'm not willing to lose any more money. I'm so scared of losing money. You see the price going down like crazy. People, what do people do? They sell. What you should not be selling when you see long red candles. You should be holding and buying more on the dip, because parabolic movements always bounce and bounce big. And I know it's easier, it's easy to say it, but if you are in the situation, it's hard to hold through these things. But you need to know when. Of course, you don't want to hold on to your losses. Usually, it's only when situations like this that are obvious. So yeah, I got my automatic buy order filled here. I bought double the money that I invested in my original entry 3 to make out to have an average cost, and to not only break even, but to actually make a lot of money here. So then I sold there from this buy, and I sold exactly here. 20% gain. So I didn't get the very top, and I will tell you why. I knew the top was there because it was obvious. I was a triangle breakout here. If you see the length of this triangle, the top was right where it finished. Actually, it reached the target. But at the moment, when I was on this trade, I had this downtrend resistance here that comes from the top of the bubble 1, 2, 3 times. I had this resistance at the exact same level. I had the moving average as well, and at the same level here I had the 50% Fibonacci level. So this was triple resistance here. I thought by probability we're not going to reach the target, and we're going to retrace as soon as it touches the moving average. We're going to start going down again. So I set my automatic sell order for my exit 3 here right before the moving average, right before the 50% Fibonacci line, and right before the top of this channel, this downtrend resistance. And sure enough, when it touched it was like a flash crash again. I mean, it went up for half a second and it was all the way down, and it actually closed on a red candle. So I was very happy. I took my profit there, and I didn't put my sell target all the way up here, even though 2 candles later, like 30-40 minutes later, it reached the target. But in my eyes, that was not the most probable scenario. I was safe taking my profit just a little bit below that. It was still a very good gain. That was my entry and exit 3. I don't have 4. To be honest, I think this red line was my exit 4. I just changed it, so it says here last exit sell all. Yeah, so I sold all my leftovers, but I did it before my my entries 5 and 6. I sold my leftover coins at some point here because I just started to see the downtrend here, and I decided to sell them. So that must be my trade number 4. It was only a sell, just to sell my leftover coins. And then I tried 2 more times on my entries 5 and 6. I'm just trying to remember what exactly I entered and exited in time, but I can't remember all that. I know the levels because I put I got the numbers from my Bittrex account. But anyways, I entered my entry 6 at this level. It bounced, but then rejection, so I just sold here where it says exit 6. So I sold, I took my loss, and now we have confirmations that this is a downtrend, and it's not going anywhere. So before this, when I was still in entries 5 and 6, there was still the chance of bouncing up again and making a second wave like this one, because we were still in the higher lows. But after this, now it's very, very likely this is just going down and down. Still holding my Ripple and still holding my Dash. These two are just long term. I'm not day trading these things. I'm holding Dash, and I am holding Ripple for the medium term, not the long term, but for the medium term, and just continue to watch it, and let's see what happens. But I think Dash was overdue for a pump, overperforming Bitcoin. Dash has a history of overperforming Bitcoin in the long run, and now we had a huge run down, so it's overdue to go up and overperform Bitcoin, and I think that's what's going to happen. But I will continue to watch it, and of course change my strategy if I see something weird or anything like that. You need to adapt all the time when you're trading or investing. I think that's all, guys. I hope it was clear, and if not, please let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.